believe we are, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Apologies for my late arrival. My computer wouldn't let me get in this morning. I was in the wrong meeting, so apologies for that. My name is Clive Pinney. I'm the monitoring officer for the CJC, and the first item on the agenda is to appoint a chair and vice chair. So, members, could I ask for nominations and a seconder for the role of chair to this CJC scrutiny meeting, please? Good. Somebody must be fancy the role of being chair of the scrutiny committee. Gosh.
Clive, I believe last time it was Councillor Hylwyn Hume, so I'm guessing the role reverts to Ceredigion for this year.
Yes, but I suspect that we have to have a willing volunteer to start with, Steve. Anybody from Ceredigion is prepared to take up the role, please?
Could I tentatively suggest, Clive, that Councillor Carl Warner, since he was nominated as vice chair, would then succeed Hylwyn, would step up to be chair in Hylwyn's absence. That's just a suggestion. Of course, that's not a nomination. That's not my my prerogative. Just a suggestion.
Councillor Carl, are you happy with Barry's suggestion?
Not really. I was talking to Councillor Gwyn Wigley, and I was just about to say that Gwyn, we had a chat that Gwyn wouldn't mind stepping up as chair or vice chair. So, yeah, a while back I had a chat with Gwyn, but I'm hoping that he'll take the position on.
I think that was about 11 o'clock at night, and we'd been what? If nobody else is putting their name forward and it's from Ceredigion, is there anybody else from Ceredigion here? No, I don't think so.
Councillor Gwyn, thank you very much for volunteering.
Thank you, Carl.
I think you were put right in the spot. Thank you, Councillor Carl, for doing that. Councillor Gwyn, can I therefore ask you to take over the meeting? The next item on the agenda, of course, is to appoint a vice chair, and that traditionally would come from Powys. So perhaps we could have a nomination from a Powys member, please. Glyn, Karina?
Maybe I'll make a suggestion in the same way that Barry did, and perhaps Councillor Glyn would like to consider vice chair.
Oh, happy to do so long as that's not pushing Councillor Karina out in any way.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Councillor Gwyn. Glyn, thank you very much. And over to you, Chair. I hope you've got the agenda in front of you.
I do have the chair in front of me, and we're going to have problems with Gwyn and Glyn, aren't we? Well, there you go. We'll get over them, I'm sure. The next one is I wasn't in the last meeting, unfortunately. I couldn't make it, but welcome everybody. I'm at the same time I would ask for apologies. Point number 3. Are there any apologies yet, Councillor Jeremy? No. Yes, Councillor Jeremy Pugh has already announced his apology.
I think if she's not here, Councillor Beverly Bainham, she was hoping to join, but clearly hasn't been able to.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, we go forward to point number 4, please. Declarations of interest. Anybody, apart from using the trains?
Nope.
Or buses? Okay, on to point number 5. The minutes of the last meeting, which was on the 5th of December 23. That is incredible. That's a long time ago. I wasn't at that meeting, so is anybody able to confirm that they're correct? Anybody that was at the meeting, please?
Councillor Carl was there. Councillor Carl, you happy with the contents of it?
Yeah, yes, I am. Thank you.
They
Yeah,
are
Councillor
correct.
Glynn was there as
yes,
well.
they are. Yeah,
And okay, thank you very
propose them,
much. And can we have a vote, please? I'm abstaining because I wasn't there.
Thank you so much.
Anybody against? And any points arising, I guess, that are not on the agenda today?
Just an observation, Chair, if I may. Well, simply that it was noted at the last meeting that the committee was looking for a sort of clear direction of travel. I suppose it looks like we've got something with some real meat on the bones to discuss today, but it has taken a year for it to come before us. So yeah, just an observation.
And I'm impressed with the direction of travel for this meeting. Excellent. I like it. Okay. Point number 5.
Chair, that was 5. We're on to the RTP report and associated documents. Item 6.
Sorry, I'm on the. I was looking at the minutes, wasn't I? RTP, yeah. Sorry, I've got it up now. Yeah. Point number 6, yes. So, purpose of the report to provide the meeting of the overview and scrutiny subcommittee with an update report on the work to deliver the regional transport plan. And the report author is Anne Elias. And Anne, are you taking us through this report, please?
Yes, Chair. Good morning, everybody. In order to try and help us negotiate the report, I've done a short presentation, so I'm just going to share my screen with you, hopefully.
And before you start, can I just query on the agenda? We have this report as an exempt item, as item 10 on the agenda. I'm not sure why we're doing that. We should just make it clear what we're discussing at this moment in time in open session.
Yes, certainly, Clive. The report is in 2 parts. The first part is documents which have gone before both the CJC transport subcommittee and the full CJC for approval, and therefore they're within the public domain. The second part of the scrutiny committee, which is an exempt item, particularly in regard to the regional transport plan and delivery, are exempt items because they haven't been brought before the subcommittee or main committee for discussion, and therefore they're exempt items.
Thank you, Anne.
Just going to quickly find my again. I'm hoping you can.
Yes, that's up there.
See the slides. Okay. Slideshow, I hope. Hope I don't lose you all.
Hopefully we can see it, Anne.
Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the work of the Corporate Joint Committee on the Regional Transport Plan. So the background to the RTP is it's a requirement of Welsh Government that the Corporate Joint Committee undertake this work on behalf of Ceredigion and Powys County Councils, and it sits within a suite of documents to the government. There's the Future of Wales National Plan, and there's also the Welsh Infrastructure Investment Plan, and within that there is the Regional Transport Plan guidance and the Regional Transport Plan and the National Transport Delivery Plan, and we fit within that. And there's cross-cutting themes of equality, decarbonisation, integrated journey planning and rural. As part of that, within the Welsh Transport Strategy, the vision says that we have priorities, and those priorities are what we have to focus the transport plan on, together with the hierarchical structure that the government have put in, that walking and cycling comes first with public transport, low emission vehicles, and other things come lower down, and that currently 45% of journeys made by public transport need to be undertaken by 2040. So we have a sort of target that we're heading towards and set policies in order to achieve that. Within that context, we're required to work within the Wellbeing and Future Generations Act and the 5 ways of working, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. As part of the plan, in order to not to duplicate consultation and engagement, which has been undertaken quite extensively over the past 5 years, and that's around the Clwb the Welsh Transport Strategy, the Net Zero Strategic Plan, both the corporate strategy of Ceredigion and Powys County Council, and also the local wellbeing plans. So we have a lot of information about what the public think and what they want and what needs to happen. We were provided a set timetable by the government of which we needed to go through, and we needed to undertake a number of tasks within that timeline. We got ourselves down to engaging with government on a draft plan, outline draft plan, which has now caused us some delays because of the government requiring us to undertake more work. But we still hope to have a final plan by June of this year. So we're working on a very strict timetable and activities required within that. So what are those activities? Well, we needed to undertake a case for change, an engagement plan, the regional transport plan, including consultation report, regional transport delivery plan. We integrated wellbeing assessments, including strategic environmental assessments, habitats regulation screening, monitoring and evaluation. And this is all required by us by guidance from government. The case for change, which we undertook, was evidence gathering. As I explained, we used existing plans available to us. We identified problems, barriers, opportunities, interdependencies to set out that case for change. And that's one of the documents contained within the appendices presented to you as Appendix 2. The background to the RTP is that we need to undertake all these objectives of focusing on achieving modal shift, outcome focused thinking, innovative approaches to technology, following the 5 ways of working, creative ways to engage with people, distinctive use of cars, incentives, sustainable development. So we're considering all of this together at one time. Development of policies, again, working with user groups and working groups. The number of topics that we considered to come forward as policies and how we bring these together. Projects, again, working with officers on the ground, understanding what's achievable for the 2 local authorities to achieve, and also what requirements we want from central government in order to connect everything together. So we considered an awful lot of issues which was discussed and considered in order to bring forward. So we've made available as part of this 4 appendices for you to view. See, there was the implementation plan, the case for change, the engagement plan, and also one of the requirements for the corporate joint committee was the integrated impact assessment. So I'm just going to try and see if I can come out of this, stop sharing. Not sure whether I've stopped sharing or not.
Yes, you have.
Okay, thank you. So I'm happy to take any questions from you regarding the papers and documents which have been made available to you that the 2 committees at the CJC have considered and approved.
I saw something there which said that there was a presentation in March 25 to the Welsh Government. Is that correct?
March 2025. Let me just go back. Okay, so CJC to review and approve March 2025. That's our anticipation that following public consultation, we would then be in a position to present a final document to the Welsh Government.
And the final document then is when?
Well, we would hope to submit it hopefully by May time. And then to seek approval from them by June of this year.
Okay, so by definition of what you said just there, we need another meeting before March 25?
Chair, as I understand it, the actual draft report will be considered as part in the exempt item of this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, please?
Yes, sorry, there's just two hands up. Councillor Karina, did you have a question?
Hello, I live in the Beguiledy ward, which is referenced a number of times through the papers as being the second most deprived area, most deprived of services in Wales. And if anybody wanted to come here as a case study, it's a B road, poorly maintained, sadly, very bad drainage. There was no bus service until recently. This last September, we're now allowed to use a college bus, and there's no active travel provision, partly because of the topography. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to come and visit, thank you.
I'm sure that it's on the radar of the Powys officers, and they're aware of the issues that you're raising.
I can see another.
So Emma's raised her hand.
So Chair, I just wanted to explain to the subcommittee the timescales that are ahead of us are significant, because the exempt item in terms of the actual plan itself that's later on the agenda, in order for us to seek the required funding, we need to meet the Welsh Government timescales, because rather than funding coming to individual authorities as previous, in future years it'll be coming through to the CJC and then supporting the regional transport plan and its delivery. So there's a fundamental shift in the way that we operate based on requirements of Welsh Government. Just thought I'd make that clear.
Thank you. Glyn.
Sorry, just struggling to unmute myself there. Thanks for that, Emma. That's really helpful. I suppose, reference is made in the report to a sort of modal shift, which sounds pretty radical from the position we're in now in rural areas where, public transport is pretty scarce, and the chance of getting on your bike to your nearest town is pretty challenging. So, just wondering, what level of investment do we realistically expect to receive from Welsh Government, and do we think it's going to be anywhere near the sums of money required to achieve a modal shift, which is referenced frequently throughout the report?
All I can say to you is, within the delivery plan documents I'm going to take you through next, we've tried to put some estimate of costs. This is only a 5-year plan. I would suggest that the objectives of the regional transport plan are long-term objective. that could only be achieved over sustained change over the coming years, and that this is a commencement of that process.
Can I ask a supplementary question then, Chair? Is that right?
Sure.
So, and I take it this will be for the obviously following CJC committees to be working up and setting direction, but I suppose where is it that we'd like to be in that sort of longer term 20-year sort of timescale then, would you say?
We'll only achieve the estimated targets set by government if there is sufficient funding in order to deliver the regional transport plan.
Okay, that's really helpful. I mean, I suppose what I take from that answer is I'm right to be sceptical about modal shift, because I don't expect that we'll have the funding required for that to be possible in a rural area, in rural areas like Ceredigion and Powys. But anyway, thank you for your answers, Anne. That's really appreciated.
Is that modal shift included, or is that coming in the next subject? In the new funding that's going on, and the new report that's come out about South Wales in particular, because I'm aware that, you know, in Mid Wales it does go to South Wales. Is there anything in there, or is that really the coastal and valleys strip?
We haven't been given any indication of funding for the regional transport plan currently.
Okay, thank you. Is that okay then, and we move on?
I think Glyn had a hand up quickly.
Oh, sorry, I thought there was an old one. Go, Glyn.
Sorry, pardon me. I have an administrative question, if that's okay. I'm really struggling to find the prioritised list of schemes, which I think sits within the confidential papers. But can somebody please help me find a page number? Because I've only had access to the confidential papers this morning.
Okay, I'll sort that out for the exempt item. Thank you.
Did you come back in there, Karina?
Could I please ask a question? This might not be appropriate now, but on what basis does every other region in Wales get 20% of the available funding and Mid Wales gets 4%?
It's a apothecated Welsh government allocation that we have consistently tried to challenge over the years.
Is it on a head of population, or?
Generally, it's a population based.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Chair, if I may, I think it is fair to say that no matter whether it's grant, whether it's the Barnet formula or whatever distribution that we receive in Mid Wales, notoriously as we move forward, it's getting less and less in terms of the share of the pot. So through other avenues, there is a lot of lobbying going on in discussions with Welsh Government in respect of the level of support that is needed in order to fulfil the ambition and the requirements of government.
Thank you. And we're obviously in other areas we're discussing this, and the funding, because of population, takes nothing into account regarding tourism and use of the roads, use of trains, use of whatever. I assume that's the case here as well, is it?
Yeah. So how many people use the trains and how many people use the buses, currently doesn't come into a calculation. I would suggest that you have to improve services and frequency in order to entice people to use public transport.
Because it changes from winter to summer, doesn't it? Dramatically.
the number of people using the services.
Yes.
Because our population changes. We have a huge intake of tourism into the region during the summer months.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any other questions? I'm aware of the time as well.
Can I ask one?
Glenn?
Can I ask
Yeah.
one more? And this is probably a bit cheeky because it pertains to the. Oh no, perhaps I won't. Yeah, I want not to. Sorry, let's carry on. Sorry, pardon me, Chair.
Okay. Maybe it'll come up later on. Is that okay now, Anne?
Yes, and we've moved to an exempt committee,
Chair,
and then we can.
Chair, we've got any other business at item 7 on the agenda.
That's right.
So formally, we need to consider that before we move into any before into the exempt item. And so any other business, please, Chair.
Yeah. So there you are. You heard it. Any other business?
I didn't think there would be any, but you've got to ask the questions. Yes, and
Yes,
thank you very
indeed.
much.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And we've also number 8 is the date of the next CJC joint overview and scrutiny subcommittee. Is there a particular diary that says it needs to be before whatever?
No, Chair, there's no diary of it at this moment in time.
Okay.
Stephen, Anne, do we know when the next meeting of this subcommittee will be?
I haven't been asked to table a scrutiny committee currently. We will try to fit it in when we know what the public consultation is doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave that one open. And then number 9 is the exempt item.
Chair, so we need a proposer to go into exempt status and a seconder, please, and then a vote.
Yeah. So would somebody like to propose? Glyn is proposing, and a seconder, Carl. And a vote, please, to go into. Karina?